For American President Barack Obama, Syria has proven to be the Waterloo of his foreign policy.
We have been very clear to the Assad regime, but also to other players on the ground, that a red line for us is we start seeing a whole bunch of chemical weapons moving around or being utilized. That would change my calculus.
In Syria, hundreds more dead, many of them children. But this time it appears deadly chemical weapons were used.
A video that we have obtained, which, as you said, is absolutely gruesome, which apparently was shot in the Zamalka district, seems to show people who are on the ground purportedly having been killed by a chemical weapons attack.
Is a strike needed in order to preserve your credibility for when you set these sort of red lines?
First of all, I didn't set a red line. The world set a red line.
Following the Red Line debacle, Russian President Vladimir Putin stepped in for his longtime ally, Bashar al-Assad, and negotiated the removal of all of Syria's chemical weapons. Officially, the US has declared the weapons are now out of Syria, but Israeli intelligence believes al-Assad still retains WMD capabilities. Obama was originally supportive of the Sunni rebels fighting against the Syrian regime, many of whom had close ties to Al-Qaeda. The US supplied them with some arms and training.
The exact group that Americans previously classified as terrorists, they funded them to fight Assad. That same group today that the Americans funded, the Americans are at war right now with them in Iraq, with ISIS.
So now, the US is bombing ISIS throughout Syria and in Iraq. This didn't have to happen.
Obama's campaign was, we're going to get our troops, we're going to get the Americans out of Iraq. But there was no true plan on how to implement the post effect. What happens when the American presence is gone?
What has happened is complete and utter chaos.
If you're a Shia or a Christian, ISIS is out to get you.
What is clear now is that Syria's Bashar al-Assad, backed by Vladimir Putin, isn't going anywhere, while the US-supported Shiite regime in Baghdad is on the edge of the abyss.
On ISIS, there was a pretty dramatic setback in the last few days. Are we winning?
Well, I think it's too early to say whether we are winning.
At this point, there's no doubt that ISIS is winning and the US is losing. And Barack Obama's convoluted foreign policy is the reason why.
We see that Obama has been flip-flopping.
I don't want to put the cart before the horse. We don't have a strategy yet.
And he will go down in history as the worst American president ever.
Meanwhile, due to his unequivocal support of al-Assad, Vladimir Putin is now considered to be the world's most powerful leader.